I'm Jenna Budell with the news. The Du Bois County Health Department confirmed 29 new cases of COVID-19 over this past weekend. 9 cases were reported on Saturday, 11 on Sunday, and 9 today. Du Bois County now has a total of 998 positive cases. Now, out of these 998 positive cases, approximately 118 are active, with 861 recovered. 19 deaths have been reported as well. 8,419 residents have been tested for the virus as of Monday morning. The best way to keep yourself and others protected are by practicing social distancing, washing your hands frequently with soap and water, and to mask up. The Indiana State Department of Health reported 3,365 COVID-19 deaths, 118,322 positive cases, and 1,029,571 Indiana residents have been tested for the virus by Monday afternoon. The numbers for our viewing area are as follows. Starting off with Du Bois with 998 cases and 19 deaths. Pike is reporting 164 cases and 1 death. Spencer with 263 cases, 3 deaths. Perry is reporting 221 cases, 13 deaths. Martin with 168 cases. Davies with 680 cases and 28 deaths. Orange is reporting 288 cases and 24 deaths. Knox is reporting 528 cases and 9 deaths. Crawford reporting 110 cases. Posey with 346. Lawrence with 516 cases and 29 deaths. Gibson is reporting 535 cases and 5 deaths. Vanderburg is reporting 3,781 cases and 21 deaths. To see a map of cases by county, head to in.gov/ISDH. An Orange County woman has been arrested for reckless homicide. On Friday evening, the Washington County 911 got a call about a man lying in a ditch along US 150 at the Orange-Washington County line. When officers arrived, they found the man dead and were told that a car may have intentionally struck him. Indiana State Police detectives found that 39-year-old Sandra Adele Huff of Paoli was driving with her husband, 45-year-old Roger Hardin, and 2 friends. The group were driving along US 150 when the husband and wife got into an argument. The argument became physical, which caused the car to drive into a ditch. Hardin and one of the passengers got out of the vehicle. When Huff tried to pull back out onto the highway, she ran over Hardin, killing him. Huff then left the scene, leaving both Hardin and the one passenger. Officers found Huff 3 hours later in Washington County. Huff is currently charged with reckless homicide, a level 5 felony, and was incarcerated at the Washington County Jail without further incident. This investigation is ongoing as detectives await autopsy results and will conduct additional interviews and further inspect the vehicle and crash scene. This weekend brought a major protest to Du Bois County. Here's news correspondent Zach Ruber with the story.
Hold up your signs and give me a big no new roads!
Many concerned citizens stood around the square in downtown Jasper protesting the MidState's corridor, a project that proposes creating a road that connects I-69 near Bloomington to Rockport. Many people are upset and concerned about the project, as they say it could cut through family farms and the Hoosier National Forest. Some say the project could take away from local businesses in the area and could cost more than it's worth. Several people spoke at the protest, including Democratic nominee for Indiana Governor Dr. Woody Myers. Myers addressed the crowd, expressing that he is against the project. Myers stated that Indiana needs to focus on other issues.
I think it would be a huge expenditure of state and federal dollars that's not really needed. This area of the state is a beautiful part of the state, and there are a lot of things that it needs that it doesn't have today that take a much higher priority than building a new freeway. We can fix up State Road 231. There are a number of other roads that can be fixed up, and that'll improve transportation. I understand the need to do that, but there are other ways to do it than to build a brand new freeway. So
Myers faces Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb this November in the Indiana governor election. Several protesters took the stand to show their disdain for the project. Du Bois County native Jared Keller gave an impassioned speech saying that this project will go through his family property if it gets approved.
What this thing is going to do is going to take something and rip out what should be 5 generations of Keller Family Farm. What this corridor is going to do to us is going to do to every single one of you. Rip out exactly what you think you had given to you, what you earned.
Keller spoke about how he believes the project will take away not only physical property, but something more.
I took my first deer here. I learned to fish. I mushroom hunt. I do everything anybody ever else does. 4-wheeling, anything. So why do we need a big corridor to come through my backyard and take what is owed to my boy that he's going to fight for whenever I'm gone? Whatever we have to lose is not only physical, it's emotional, it's intangible.
On the square in downtown Jasper, I'm Zach Gruber reporting.
Thank you, Zach. State Representative Stephen Bartels and Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch hosted their second summit at Patoka Lake Winery on Friday. But this time, law enforcement officers had a turn to share about their concerns. Sheriffs from the surrounding counties say one big concern they see in their jails on a daily basis is mental health and substance abuse. Bartels explains what the steps the state is taking to fight it head on.
Yeah, so mental illness is a huge issue, and I think that what we need to look at from a state standpoint is bringing back down to the school level. So while you're in school, there's a counselor, a mental health counselor. I think that's where the start is, and then as they get older, have different facilities that are available. But when it comes to actually the jail, as a former law enforcement officer, I know that lots of times there would be somebody incarcerated that really needs mental help over being a criminal. And that's kind of hard because there's really no facility to take them to in a lot of these small communities. So I think we're going to have to look at how do we either have a traveling counselor, but looking at different options where these people can get some help.
And this is not the only action the representative is taking. Bartels is also working on a bill called the Police Enhancement Bill.
One, we're looking at providing a little bit more money to this mental health issue. Being able to train officers and dispatchers on an issue with mental health and what do they do and how do they talk to people that may have these kind of issues.
This bill would not only help jails with supplying supportive services for inmates struggling with mental health. Bartels also says it would help hold the police accountable.
That there's a different procedure for decertifying police officers, so therefore they can't just go to another department or go to another state, that some of their issues would follow them. And I think I think all good officers and departments want to see something like that. They don't want an officer that may be slightly substandard continue on somewhere else.
Sheriffs also shared their concerns about jail overcrowding. This not only affects the jails in southwestern Indiana. Bartels explains how the state is approaching the problem.
One of the solutions might be, and we've been looking at this regional jail concept. A lot of jails are overcrowded because of level 6 felons staying at local jails. You know, do we take them back to DOC? So we're really looking at lots of different options and also looking at some deferred time on sentencing, so those kind of things.
The next item sheriffs and local law enforcement brought up for discussion were veteran officers. Some of the older officers are having trouble with the technology that is now required for their job. But Bartels says some projects to help this are in the works.
We're looking at doing some more training, as our veterans service officers are becoming older. We need to shore up some skills that they need, especially on computers, since a lot of these programs are all computer-based, on how to enter somebody into some of the VA programs. So we're going to try and work on some of that also.
This was the second summit that Bartels and Crouch held last week. The first summit focused more on town leaders and community needs. To learn more about the first summit, visit our website at WJTS.tv. Last Saturday was the day that the Ferdinand Park Board has been looking forward to for a long time. Park Board President Matt Wire stood by the new Old Town Lake Clubhouse with his fellow board members and the Town Council and officially cut the ribbon. The grand opening and ribbon cutting were originally scheduled for midsummer, but were pushed back by a few months because of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the department's records, Wire says the idea took decades to become a reality.
It started actually in the late 90s. Our first documentation that we have shows that there was some activity out here in the late 90s, and then we applied for several grants in the 2000s for previous park boards. So they got the ball rolling on this.
Wire explains how it felt to finally cut the ribbon.
This is exciting. It's really come to fruition over the past 4 years. It started with a grant application in 2016 and took us 4 years to get here, but we're really excited about it.
The park is full of new ways to get out and enjoy nature. Wire says one of their most popular activities is the trail.
Well, we have a 1 mile trail around the lake. Part of it is asphalted. Most of it is compacted gravel, and we have about halfway around there's an observation point with a rest area, and throughout the trail there's a number of benches to sit and rest and observe and enjoy the views.
While making these improvements, Wire also says that they were able to salvage a piece of the town's history.
It's 105 years old and was the original pump house that held the pump and pumped water to the town, and it was in pretty bad shape when we got a hold of it 4 or 5 years ago, and we've turned it into a beautiful shelter house, restored the brick, the roof, all of the wood, and painted it, and I think it's just kind of a beautiful, nice little point to rest and picnic out here.
Wire also says they are going to build a fishing pier thanks to a generous donation from a resident's family.
We've received a donation from James Bouncer Olinger and his family. James passed away in February, and Shirley, his wife, and his daughters wanted to memorialize him with something. And we're building a fishing pier out here.
And this is only phase 1 of the project. Wire explains what his goals are for phase 2.
We'd love to get a restroom storage building out here. I would love to get a kayak launch to help with getting in and out of your kayak out onto the lake.
The park board is also holding a fundraiser to help raise money for the project's second phase. For more information, visit ferdinandindiana.org/park-board. We'll take a look at your weather forecast when we come back on 18 WJTS.